Welcome to Confessions of a Higher Ed CMO, a podcast that empowers higher ed marketers to bring innovation, creativity, and excellence to their work. I'm your host, Jamie Hunt. Join me every 2 weeks for discussions with some of the best minds in higher education marketing. Confessions of a Higher Ed CMO is part of the solidify network, a robust collection of podcasts designed to help higher educational professionals like you grow. Explore our other shows at enrollify.org or check out some of my personal favorites linked in the show notes below. Enrollify is made possible by Element 451, the leading AI-powered all-in-one student engagement platform, helping institutions create meaningful, personalized, and engaging interactions with students. Learn more at element451.com. I'm so happy to be here with Christian Cardona, who is the social media manager for ODU Global. Welcome to the show, Christian.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Jamie.
I'm so excited to talk with you. This is your first AMA. What has the experience been like as a first-time attendee?
So as my first time attending, I think that at first you walk in, there are just so many sessions to choose from. But it's been totally helpful with everyone from finding rooms to finding sessions. But overall, everyone's been so welcoming and it's been so exciting to meet with everyone, even though this is my first time.
So, Christian, in your job as a social media manager for ODU Global, you are managing a community of people who are not on a campus, but you previously were managing community on campus. What is the differences like in that environment?
Definitely. So when I was managing social for on-campus programs, I would say to start off, the similarity is that you're trying to get across your students, your faculty, your alumni stories. Because the stories are really what build your brand and build your school and what your programs really are all about. Not just the stories, but also the ROI, the return on income, the end results. So, when you're in person, you have that opportunity to knock on the classroom doors, to meet with faculty, to see really who those star students are. And you start to see students on campus doing projects, presenting, even just meeting them when they come into your office with a pitch that they have for an idea. And I think being online, what definitely makes it more different, and essentially, I guess, a difficulty you could say, is knowing who those students are. Because a lot of times their stories are hidden and you just really have to dig through perhaps social media or other leads that you get from other staff and faculty with your program. So I think that would be a big difference. But I also think that one of the things that is special about working with an online campus or an online program is that opportunity to build a community with those who are a part of your program, your faculty, your staff, and those within your team as well to gain those leads on those stories.
Well, I imagine you're really reliant on faculty telling you who the rock stars are versus on a physical campus. You're walking around and seeing students in activities and you can go to concerts and performances. But I also feel like it's probably really important to have an online community for online learners and to have a digital community. And does that factor into how you approach creating content?
Oh, absolutely. So whenever we post content on our social media channels, no matter it be Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, we're currently looking at other platforms on YouTube, Reddit. I definitely think your students' engagement, your faculty engagement plays a big role because a lot of the times our stories that we hear about students come from the comments that they leave on our posts. Maybe it's, gratitude or excitement for the program that they're in, or it's a story that we hear about from our student success advisors in our own Teams chats. So
how long have you been at ODU Global?
So I've been with ODU Global since March of 2024, so about 6 months now.
And what has been your favorite project so far?
Well, there's just been so much because I feel like with ODU Global, my team has definitely entrusted me with so many different creative opportunities. But I would say my favorite has been my very first time with ODU Global interviewing one of our students. And so the thing about our program is that we are built on a number of different identities, whether it be younger students, older students, students returning back to school, military, for example. But this one student who comments quite frequently on our posts, I picked up on that. And just hearing her story and learning about her journey, which was not streamlined to say the least, was very impactful. And one of the reasons definitely that I love working in higher education is to hear that impact that this education, but also your specific school or your specific program has impacted them. So we worked together on her story. I sent it to her. We went back and forth on edits, for example. And at the end result, she was just so grateful that she even wanted some cool swag to take back home with her so she could share even more with her students, with her family as well.
That's so awesome. And you work on a totally remote team. How do you can you stay connected with your colleagues and collaborate on projects when you're all over the country?
Absolutely. So I'm probably the farthest from my teammates all the way in California. A lot of them are on the East Coast. So I would say definitely our Teams chat plays a big role, our meetings, of course, all of the stuff that's included in your day-to-day work. But we like to have kind of like hours where we do chat on, in a group basis. It's more of a fun conversation. So we do that on Thursdays for about an hour towards the end of our day. But most recently, and something that we've all really enjoyed, is we all traveled to Old Dominion University on campus to kind of meet, collaborate, workshop together. And then we caught a football game at the very end. So that was pretty cool. So I think we're going to try and make that a yearly thing.
That's super awesome. So when you're thinking about, the strategy of telling a story about students who are not on campus and you're not on campus, and how do you really make that experience come to life when, you've been there that one time and the students may never be there, might only go there for graduation? How do you think about the strategy of that?
I think it really is dependent on your entire team. So we have graphic designers. We have a content creator who writes our stories. We have someone who plans our day-to-day activities within our team, for example. And of course, our lead who guides us through all of our plans. But I think it really comes from all of the projects that everyone is working on, whether it be photography, videography, writing the story itself, creating the graphics. I think it all needs to come together, and it adds that experience to an online platform, because we can't exactly show an on-campus garden or, being in the business school, for example. So we really have to show where our students are at, whether that be at home or maybe they're on the job, or we're showcasing real life in the sense of being online, because online students really are learning in their own day-to-day environments. So it's quite different in that sense.
Have you had a chance yet to build a community of other community managers who are for online programs yet?
I would say being in this space fairly new, not quite yet, but actually going to AMA this weekend, I've met quite a few who have been really inspiring. So that has helped.
So if somebody is listening to this and they're like, I'm exactly what Christian is talking about, I would love to pick your brain, how can they find you?
So they can actually find me on LinkedIn and under my name, Christian Cardona. So I would check on LinkedIn or on my email. Please feel free to email me anytime, ccardona@odu.edu.
Awesome. Thank you so much for this conversation. This has been great. And as always, let's go bust some silos. Confessions of a Higher Ed CMO is part of the Enrollify podcast network. If you like this podcast, chances are you'll like other Enrollify shows too. Our podcast network is growing by the month, and we've got a plethora of marketing, enrollment, and higher ed technology shows that are jam-packed with stories, ideas, and frameworks, all designed to empower you to be a better higher ed professional. Our shows help higher ed marketers and admissions professionals find their next big idea and feature a selection of the industry best as your host. Learn from Mallory Wilsey, Seth Odell, Jenny Lee Fowler, Eddie Francis, and so many other of your favorite leaders in higher ed. Enrollify is made possible by Element 451, the leading AI-powered all-in-one student engagement platform, helping institutions create meaningful, personalized, and engaging interactions with students. Learn more at element451.com.